Hey everybody, we're going to be looking at type this week in Photopea and a couple of different things that we can do with it. And we have a couple of exercises to get to before we have our bigger project with type. So the first exercise today, on Monday, we're going to be going through it pretty quick. And the idea is that you're just exploring with some of those basic type tools. If you finish early, it would be the time where you dig a little further and you experiment with some of the other things that you can find when your type interfaces are open. So I have template one, a JPEG image that is included in your Canvas page. This would be exactly what you have opened up in Photopea from that template one JPEG image. And you'll see that it's basically a wall of text and there's a couple different things going on. This is like your guide on how I want you to do this. What I want from this is basically that you go in and you copy everything exactly as it is. And while you're doing so, you're following what it says, getting used to it. The way that I'm going to know that you did this is because you're going to change the color of every individual block of text. So for example, there is a way, or there are actually many ways that you could um, alternatively change the text color. So it's going to be the honor system on this. So I'm going to go in my text tool right here, and you'll notice that there are a couple different ways that you can make text once you start clicking around. For example, I can just click on the page and I can, whatever I type will go in a straight line and I can enter from there. However, I would just keep on going basically forever and ever and ever off the page because there's no boundary on where this would end as it is now. If I go ahead and click and drag a box, and I'm just going to hide this background layer, what happens when I type is that it will conform to the dimensions of that box. So this could be useful if you were trying to make like stanzas or something organized with your type. So you'll notice that a couple of these examples would have had to have been made using a box. So what I'll do for all of these individual blocks is I'll go ahead and I'll just retype what I'm seeing. And then I'm noticing a couple things are happening. Like for example, the box size is smaller, or I would have to hit enter. A couple of different ways that you would reach the same conclusion. But the first thing I'm noticing is that it looks different. So I'm going to highlight my text by clicking and dragging. You'll notice up here it'll say a name of the font. And I'm seeing that this one is called Deja Vu Sans, and it says that it's 24 pixels in size. So I'm going to go up here, Deja Vu Sans. I can type it in, or I can just find it. Deja Vu Sans. And it looks like this is 24 pixels already. So I'm going to drag my, whoops, I'm going to drag my type over, line it up as good as I can. And I'm noticing that, well, the box isn't perfectly aligned. So if I drag my box with this, with my arrow key, what's going to happen is it's going to resize it when in fact you want to actually modify the text box size itself. So if I have the text icon selected, then that's when I can go in and modify my text box size until I find the exact one that it would have been. And I'm seeing that these are pretty close, not totally perfect. This is just about right here. Although I could say, okay, let's enter then, and let's use our manual entering in order to finish this up. When I finish, I'm going to go ahead and hit the confirm box up here, and then your step um, will be to change the color. So to change the color, there are multiple ways to do this as well. If you're changing the color down here, this is your brush color and it won't do anything to the text. You're going to have to change that text color in the text window, which is up here. As I changed it in my color picker, you'll notice that it changes on the screen. You could also do a color overlay. For example, in your layer effects panel, it should be going something like this for you. I also have my blend mode on color, and yours may not automatically be there. Yours may be on normal, or yours may be on a different one. So if there's something that's going wrong with this, just double check your blend mode um, and make sure that the settings are appropriate. If I had something like lighten, it might not do anything because my blue is darker than my red is what the program's thinking, so it's not lightening it. So you have two options at least to change the color there. Now, the other thing you'll see in this is the character styles panel um, and the paragraph panel. Those are both located right here, CHA and PAR. Character will adjust an individual word's settings. Although if you have like a whole thing of text selected, it will change the settings for the whole grouping of text. Um, and they're more specific settings. While paragraph, it just organizes like general settings a little bit more. For example, how the text is justified. We have examples of left align, being that the text is coming from the left. And we do have an example of justified, where the text is matching up to both sides, which is this icon on the far right here. You also have right aligned. So this would be something to play with as you are getting the hang of those boxes. These settings right here, you'll also be experimenting with, for example, the leading, as is referred to down here in this box. Once you finish, once you finish with this exercise, what you're going to do is save it as a JPEG. And so again, all of your text will be a different color than the previous one. And then we'll be submitting the two JPEG images on Tuesday this week, because we are going to submit them before we start into our final type project. One other thing with type is that sometimes it can get a little confusing when this window stays open and there's not really a super intuitive way to like close it. I always think to go in the top right corner. But if you actually just click back on the button that you originally pressed, character or paragraph style, that will make it hide. There's a resource that's been posted as well on Canvas, so please go ahead and access that if you're having any questions before asking me. Although again, I am here to help you if you have looked that resource over and watched this video.